Hello everyone and welcome to this week's One Pot. Today I'm talking about Outriders. Console I'm playing it on, this is the Xbox Series X. I was not super interested in this game when it was first showed off. Partly because I'm not really interested in the looter shooter type of game. I don't have mates to play it with, so it kind of hasn't been my go-to game. Let's just say it like that.
Problem on her back porch.
But I was pleasantly surprised. Honestly, pleasantly surprised going through it for the story, mostly. The story section was very well done for one of these games. It didn't feel like it was forced in any way, shape, or form. I had a pretty good time with it. It's not the best story I've ever played in a game, and I don't even think a game that has an amazing story necessarily would make a good looter shooter, because you have to leave the story somewhat open-ended for it. But anyway, I'm showing footage here from one of the endgame expeditions, as they are called. And I enjoy the concept of these expeditions. They're kind of fun to just go out and do a little mini quest, or basically a dungeon or a strike from Destiny, as they'd be called. And I like the concept, but this is my first gripe with the game, is that the looking for group for these expeditions is abysmal. If you want to find a regular plain old one, you'd probably be better off using Discord, or like I did for the footage here, the LFG that is included on Xbox. It is a good, much better way to handle that, but I do wish that the game did facilitate pug play, like just grab some randos and go and do one of these smaller missions. Controls are good. I don't have any complaints there. The only other thing that has been a problem has been crossplay, and me just getting kicked out of games when I join them. Netcode is kind of messed up. Also, people just kicking me because we got to the end and didn't want to share loot or something. I was not sure why that happened, but it said he kicked me, so I'm gonna go with that. That happened a couple times. So I don't know if people had their game set to open and didn't realize it or whatnot. I don't want to be a jerk and say whatever one way or the other. Like I said, LFG in Outriders needs some work. Other than that, it's a pretty solid performer. Very enjoyable. The story I had a pretty fun time going through, and some of the characters were very interesting. Although, I have to say, some of the moral dilemmas that come up, the way that Lincoln here, my main character, decides to handle them, I was not okay with, but what can I say? I don't want to focus too much on the story, because if you like a decent shootery story, this one isn't bad. But I don't want to talk about any spoilers. Basically, it's a competent third-person shooter with special powers and skill trees, with not requiring you to change your loot out all the time, which I kind of like. Though I have a feeling if I started grinding endgame content like some of these people have been, there would be an insane amount of gear, and I'd be looking for very specific things and maybe min-maxing. But to be honest, I'm not that kind of player anymore when it comes to stuff like this. I just like to play them and have fun. I don't know what stats are best or anything like that. So if you're a hardcore committed to Outriders or other looter shooters, you might have a lot to like here. I'm not sure if there's much you can do min-maxing with skill trees and that, but the fact that it lets you just respec whenever you want for next to no penalty besides just taking the time to respec is actually very, very generous, because a lot of games have, with talent trees like that, make it have some sort of cost involved, be it an in-game cost or something else. So we've talked about looking for group and how it definitely needs some work on inside the game, not outside it. I've talked about how I'm not a big fan of that. Performance, I didn't notice much in the way of performance or dips or anything like that. But I did notice screen tearing on the opening cutscene, and it really bothered me because it was vertical and it was in weird spots. I don't know why it was doing that. It seemed to be pre-rendered, it's unskippable, and it bothers me every time I see it. Yes, I'm kind of a purist for that, but I mean, I play PC games mostly. That is my preferred platform, but the Xbox Series X is definitely taking a it's my secondary sort of console to play things on. So as far as I can tell, the demo is still up. So if you are interested in trying out this game and you don't have Game Pass, you should be able to just play the demo and it would be great for you. It's a decent slice of the game, and in my opinion, some of the worst parts of the story. But again, I'm not gonna harp on it because it's a brand new IP, and honestly, it gets much better. And I had a lot of fun with it over the course of its, 20-ish hour campaign. Maybe you could do it faster if you had more people, but then you could also turn up the difficulty. I had to turn the last boss down to World Tier 2, which is the difficulty slider, to actually beat him. And that's not me trying to be like, oh, it was really hard. I probably could have done it at 3, but at that point I was kind of feeling burnt out on the game and just wanted to take a break, and I was right there at the end, knew I was right there at the end, and I just took a shortcut basically to finish it. Not everyone will want to do that. Some people will ask for help. I saw plenty of people looking for help with that boss on different tier levels, be it 5, 7, 14 for some unknown reason. I don't know how much gear you would need to beat it on tier 14, but I personally don't appreciate when things I shoot with bullets take 10 million bullets. But that's another thing. That's, again, you need to decide what you want to do with the game. And if you have friends that want to play the whole campaign through with you, I could see you having a fantastic time. And when you got to endgame content, there's still story there, but it takes place after the fact. I do think the way that it ended and the way I've seen some of the cutscenes play out in the very few expeditions I've done, I think I've completed like 4, maybe. I've disconnected from so many at this point that I just have given up until I can get either people that want to go with me or something else. Again, if you have friends to go with and you can just make a team basically when you want, it's probably a fantastic time. And people were saying on Twitter how they were having a fantastic time playing this game co-op. And you know what? I don't blame you. There's definitely a decent core here. I just hope that these technical issues and glitches can be improved. So yeah, I don't hate the game. That's why I'm kind of being so hard on it. Maybe it sounds like I'm being hard, because I want the game to be better. I want more people to play it, and I want to be able to just grab a rando for an expedition if I need one more person, per se. Or if I want to queue on my own for an expedition. That would also be fine. I think that's also viable and also necessary in a game like this. Since doing an expedition on your own is almost impossible. I haven't tried, but judging by how many bullets these guys are taking and how much damage people do, I think it would be very hard for me to do this on my own. But I think I've said about everything I want to say about Outriders. One of my... Honestly, the more I want to go back and play it. I even went back to try and play it just before I got in here. Got into a lobby and people were just standing around the Outrider HQ. And there's a lot of games like that that you get kind of stuffed into. I think the looking for group function needs to be built out, and that's probably my biggest issue with it, is I just want to go and play these things at a reasonable difficulty to just get my fill, you know? Like, play a couple expeditions and then put the game down for the night or the day or whatever. Or maybe my friend wants to play and I can just give them my crossplay code and we can sit down and play. I like that the game supports crossplay. Even if it's a beta feature, I like that this is becoming more common. I like that the game's only PvE as far as I can tell, because I could not see trying to balance these abilities for PvP. Do I think this game has a future? Yes. Yes, I do. And I do look forward to whatever they're going to do next. Again, I don't hate this game. It's got issues. I don't want to just reiterate the same things. But those issues are preventing me from enjoying the game as much as I was enjoying OG Destiny back when it came out. But if I can be on a positive note, this game has a much stronger story than OG Destiny. A lot of games have a better story than OG Destiny. That's not much of a compliment, I suppose. But it's fine. So, if you have Game Pass and you're interested in Outriders, you should give it a go. If you don't have Game Pass and are interested in Outriders, I'm pretty sure the demo's still up. Give that a go. It's a decent chunk of the game. It will give you a decent flavor for what you have to expect in the full game, and your progress transfers over, which was really nice. I don't know what else I have to say. I don't think I have anything else to say. I'm gonna leave the footage playing for a bit so you can enjoy this expedition, and I'll turn the audio back up so it is a pleasant listening experience. You won't be able to hear my chatter with the group because the way headset recording works on Xbox, but that's fine. So everyone, you have yourselves a good weekend. I hope you enjoyed this. I'm thinking of doing another couple videos like this for next week. One on Balan Wonderworld and one on Doom Eternal: The Old Gods, because I have some thoughts on that game, on those games, and they're interesting. But anyway, until then, matane.
There's the pod. Good call, Dunham. Hey, Dunham. Looks like the insurgents found the monsters here while looking for the pod. They blocked the passage and trapped the creatures here.
That's why the insurgents have been camped up there. But with what end goal?
Probably try to wait them out, so they'd starve and eat each other. But the pod's secure now.
Good work, Altered. And thank you for clearing that infestation. You've made my life easier for about 7 minutes.
Outrider detected. Access granted.
Should have seen that coming.